Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Gem Live, and welcome to my first solo podcast on this channel. If you're watching this video, that means you get the full, unedited, unfiltered, entire show, and we have a lot of good stuff to talk about. We have some NBA, we have some NFL. It's going to be a great show, and if you want to watch any of the segments individually, they're going to be on my YouTube channel as well. But if you're here, full show, let's get straight into it. So there's a lot of people in life that are never fully content where they're at. They're always looking for the next best thing. If they're having a very exciting time in their year, they're looking for the next 5 years and what they're planning. That's how it can be with sports a lot of the times. We have an amazing thing going on right now in the NBA with the NBA bubble. All the series have been highly entertaining. There's been a lot of memorable moments. I'm really looking forward till next year. And that's what we're going to talk about first, because I have a prediction. I have a prediction that next year can be the best NBA season in the last 20 to 30 years. And by best, I mean most balanced, most entertaining, most exciting, most contending teams. So let's break it down. We're going to go over each team very briefly. I want to do a longer series on each team and what their next year is going to look like, but that's going to be in another video. So in the West, we have the Lakers. Of course, this is the best duo in the NBA with LeBron and Anthony Davis, but what makes them so interesting is they have a lot of one-year contract players this year. So while they're able this year to make a lot of good acquisitions to form a championship team when Kawhi left them high and dry in the offseason, I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do next year. Are they going to bring a lot of the same people back? Are they going to look for more veteran players? Are they going to look for younger, more explosive talent? Like, what are they looking for? Because the Clippers have a very good chance to win it this year. But if they don't, what does their offseason look like? Second team's the Clippers. They have Kawhi and Paul George, obviously, a great defensive team. And this is a very, very deep team, and they do have players with contracts for years in the future, so I don't think they're going to do too much to change. The Nuggets hit huge with Michael Porter Jr. and Bol Bol. They were already the best youngest team in the NBA. They were getting the second and third seed for consistent years, and now I think they are 1 year away from being a contending, because Michael Porter Jr. I do not think is coming out of that starting lineup, and they're taking the Utah Jazz to 7, and they have 2 starters hurt right now. Which brings me to my next team, the Jazz. Donovan Mitchell is an emerging star, and with the Nuggets, I didn't even mention Jamal Murray. He's been on a tear this postseason. But Donovan Mitchell he's emerging as a superstar in this league. And I think the Jazz are just very all around. They're the best three-point shooting team in the NBA, which is huge in today's league. And I think they have a really good defense. Rudy Gobert is obviously clogging the paint on everything. And with the emergence of Donovan Mitchell, they have a lot of good pieces around them. The Jazz are contenders. The Rockets are also contenders. I think they're going to shoot themselves in and out of a lot of games. And I think as long as they have James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and a lot of people that can shoot it from the corner, they're going to be a contender for years to come. The Mavericks have emerged, and Luka Doncic is here. If he had Porzingis in this series, this Clippers series might be still going on. So that's very scary. Luka Doncic has become a man in this league. He's only 21 years old. I believe he averaged over 30 points and almost a triple-double against Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and Marcus Morris, the 3 best wing defending guards in the league. All right, and the last team, people are forgetting them, out of sight, out of mind, but the Warriors. They have their nucleus back for a 73-9 team, which is Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond, and they have the second pick in the 2020 NBA draft. So this team is coming back, and they also added Andrew Wiggins and a few other pieces, and their all their bench players last year got starting minutes for an entire season. So don't forget about the Warriors. And if you counted, that's Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Jazz, Rockets, Mavs, Warriors. That is 7 teams that I believe are legit contenders. This is going to be the most balanced the West has ever been. It's going to be highly competitive. And we haven't gotten to the East yet. The East isn't nearly as balanced as the West is, but it's interesting. Let me go over some teams. So the Bucks. This is getting recorded on a Tuesday morning, by the way. So Monday night, last night, Jimmy Butler and the Heat just took Giannis and the Bucks in Game 1. And And that's scary. If Giannis wins Defensive Player of the Year, which he did, and I'm assuming he's going to win the MVP, and he's been coming up short. They've been the favorites to make it to the finals the last 3 years. If they get bounced for a third time, and this time in the semifinals, I think Giannis could be looking for a move. And I have some theories on where Giannis could potentially go, because this is a signing year. If he doesn't sign the max extension, I'm guessing that the Bucks are going to be looking to trade him because they don't want to give him away for nothing. So the Bucks are obviously contenders for next year if Giannis stays, but could be shaken up. The Celtics, I love the Celtics. Everyone on this team knows their role, and Jason Tatum is an emerging star. Jaylen Brown, I believe, is going to get his first All-Star selection next year. Kemba Walker was a great addition. He's not nearly as talented as skilled as Kyrie, but he's close and he fits the team a lot more. The ball doesn't stick with him quite as much, but he will get you the buckets. And as Cantor, Marcus Smart, it's just a very good, well-balanced team with a great coach. The Sixers are going to shake up the league here in a second, because Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid just are not working together. I do think that this is Ben Simmons' fault. He is not willing to take jumpers. He's not trying. He's practicing a lot on it, but when he's not putting in the effort or not even trying in meaningless regular season games to better himself, that'd be really frustrating. Now I don't even know who's going to move. I don't know if they'd keep Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid, but I believe a lot of people in the 76ers camps are getting fired. My bad, sorry about that. But yeah, the 76ers, trust the process is getting a lot harder to trust right now. And it's getting, I think they're closing in on the years of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid together. The Raptors have been very fun to watch. The reigning NBA defending champions lost Kawhi Leonard, but have not missed a beat. Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, all improving. They all play very hard. Their defensive rotations are amazing. They're so much fun to watch. Just a very good fundamental team with great defense, efficient scoring, a great coach, and is looking like contenders for the next years to come. And then the team I'm looking most forward to next year out of everyone is the Brooklyn Nets. With the return of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, with a team who performed very well in the bubble with Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jared Allen. It's a very Joe Harris. You have snipers everywhere that can take over games, and they didn't make much of a series with Toronto, but in their 8 bubble games they played very well. And adding KD and Kyrie, I'm very excited. So that's the Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, Raptors, Nets. That is 5 teams in the East, 7 teams in the West that I could believe contend. And that's the most balanced it's ever been. We had 4 straight years with the Cavs and Warriors, and we knew it was going to be the Cavs and Warriors. Next year, I don't even know who I would pick preseason to win it all, because there's so many. All right, switching gears over to football. Tom Brady, the GOAT, the greatest quarterback of all time, after 20 years in New England, has left and joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When I saw that there was rumors of Tom Brady leaving, I believed it. I could see it. I knew he wasn't happy. He wasn't excited to be in New England anymore. He was kind of done with Belichick. And yeah, I don't think he was having fun, but I did not expect Tampa Bay. I was expecting a team like the Tennessee Titans, the Chargers, the Raiders maybe. And then when I woke up and saw on my phone that he was in Tampa Bay, I was like, what is he doing? This makes no sense. But I was thinking, Tom Brady is the smartest quarterback in NFL history. He has to know what he's doing, right? And so I looked into it, and he sure did. This team can win the Super Bowl if they can put it together. This is the year that Tom Brady might have and what team he's going to. So last year, the New England Patriots had the 10th best offensive line, and so they were very solid. They had the best offensive line coach in the NFL. 10th best over line. Pro Football Focus says that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the 7th best, so a slight improvement there. Last year, Tom Brady had the worst receiving core in the entire NFL, and Pro Football Focus had them last in separation. So Tom Brady, every single throw, there was a defender draped all over his receivers. Now he's going to what Pro Football Focus says is the best receiving core in the NFL. With Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller, Rob Gronkowski, O.J. Howard, and with the 13th overall pick, they took what I think was the best offensive tackle in the draft out of Iowa, and in the 3rd round, they took a dual threat receiving running back, which I was very excited for. And they have Pro Football Focus has the Buccaneers as the 5th best offense in the NFL and the Patriots at 18th. And so offensive wise, what's really going to affect Tom Brady, he's making improvements across the board. And the Patriots were able to have a pretty good season last year. They made it to the playoffs, and Tom Brady had a very poor supporting cast on offense. But I think a big story is going to be the Buccaneers defense, because they were massively improving throughout the year. And even though their numbers don't look amazing, Jameis Winston didn't help them at all. Jameis Winston threw 30 interceptions, and so that means the defense is out there all the time. They're very tired. They're working with a short field a lot, and then pick sixes work against the defense. So I don't understand how that works exactly. But Jameis Winston had six pick sixes. And that's Tom Brady would never do that in a season. And especially with the talent he has with the offensive line improving and actually having receivers and reliable tight ends. So I believe that the Buccaneers can have an amazing season. I want to make a video soon breaking down each one of their games, but with no preseason, no OTAs, there's going to be a lot of secrecy, and I feel like Tom Brady is going to come out with this offense and make he's going to take some adjustments, because I think Bruce Arians and him are talking and kind of implementing both their games into make one offensive system, so I'm very excited to see this. Let's go on the flip side with Cam Newton and the Patriots. So we had 8 players opt out for the Patriots due to Corona, which some of them I understand. A lot of these are veteran players. They already have 2 to 3 Super Bowl rings. They're not as motivated to take the risks that some other players are. But these names include Dante Hightower, Patrick Chung, right tackle Marcus Cannon. And as I mentioned earlier, the Patriots offensive line coach was the best in the NFL. He retired this year. There's no training camps, OTAs, no preseason. Their league is improving. The Bills have gotten a lot better. And as I mentioned before, they made no acquisitions to fill the receiving spot that was the worst in the NFL last year. So when I saw Cam Newton was going to be with Belichick, I was ecstatic for him. And then over the weeks, as time went on, I just got more and more and more depressed for Cam Newton. He doesn't even know if he's the starter right now. I believe that might have changed. I think they might have said he's the starter now. But competing for a spot, he was an MVP 5 years ago. In 2015, MVP of the league. Now he's getting a contract for $1 million, competing with a guy named Jared Stidham. Everyone's opting out. The one good thing about the Patriots last year was their historically good defense throughout the beginning of the season. And then a lot of the key pieces either got traded to other teams, released, or opted out. So I'm very, very nervous for what the Patriots' team is going to look like next year, and I feel very bad for Cam Newton. I hope he goes out there and balls out and some team sees his value. I hope he stays healthy, and hope he gets picked up for a big contract for another team next year. All right, so I have the second round playoff predictions. I think I'm going to wait on this just because we have a Game 7 tonight with the Jazz and the Nuggets, and then a Game 7 with the Thunder and the Rockets. So when I was writing this out, I kind of had what I thought the matchups were going to be, because I thought the Jazz were going to win when they're up 3-1, but now we're in a game 7. I thought the Rockets were going to win, but now we're in a game 7. So I'm going to hold off on the playoff prediction. The Heat Bucks, that's going to be a series that is very interesting. Jimmy Butler could get it done in the fourth quarter. Giannis struggled, only had 18 points. All right, the 2020 NBA draft. The 3 top picks are kind of known. I'm not gonna. This isn't a prediction what I think the teams are going to do. This is gonna be a prediction what I think the teams should do. So the Timberwolves have the first overall pick, and I think they should take LaMelo Ball. Personally, I think they're going to take Anthony Edwards. He's the safer prospect. But I think LaMelo Ball is going to have the highest ceiling. They wouldn't take James Wiseman just because they have Karl Anthony Towns. So I think it's going to be between LaMelo and Anthony Edwards. I think they should choose LaMelo. LaMelo has the highest upside out of anyone in this league. I think his floor is a great, passing, facilitating, rebounding point guard. And I think his ceiling could be someone like Luka Doncic, because they have a lot of similarities. They do struggle shooting from the three-point line, but can make it. So you see Luka Doncic's highlights, you'd think he's hitting that step-back three all the time. Well, he's only shooting like a 29% clip. That's around the same as LaMelo Ball's shooting. He can drive to the lane. He's very crafty, finishing with both hands. D'Angelo Russell is more of a shooting guard, so drafting Anthony Edwards would be a little bit strange to me. But I think LaMelo being the primary ball handler with Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell just kind of running the offense, I think that'd be a great fit. The Warriors, I think they should take James Wiseman. Actually, if the Warriors have to pick, they should choose James Wiseman. They're looking, like I said earlier, to contend now. And building around a rookie center as like a key piece in their team, I see them trying to sell this pick. I think Andrew Wiggins is a great player. I think he has a lot of promise. Kind of had a disappointing career so far, but I think he can turn it around. But I don't think he really fits the Warriors system. So if the Warriors can move Andrew Wiggins in this pick and maybe another pick for another like all-star or fringe all-star like veteran player, I think they do that. But the one hole they have in their lineup right now is the center position. So if they do keep this second pick, I believe they choose James Wiseman. Very athletic, big. We didn't see much of him at Memphis. We only played 3 games. But yeah, I don't think the Warriors are really lacking at the guard position, so I don't think they'd take Anthony Edwards. I think Charlotte would take Anthony Edwards. He's the safest pick, I believe, in this draft. I believe he has a ceiling. He reminds me, watching his play at Georgia, looks a lot like Donovan Mitchell did at Louisville. So if he can make that step, obviously you wouldn't go back in the draft and pass on Donovan Mitchell. But I don't know if he can exactly do that, and that's why I don't see the Timberwolves taking him number 1 overall, or I don't think they should. I think they might. But besides that, we can look at some other lottery picks in another video, but I think that is going to conclude the first episode. I hope you guys all enjoyed. I will get to the second round playoff predictions after these 2 Game 7s happen, and I know a few of the games will have already been played by that point, but so I'll get a little cheating. But comment down below what you think about any of these videos. If you have any questions or comments, whether you agree or disagree, I'm looking at all the comments. I love your guys' feedback. Leave a like on this video if you like this podcast style. Got the mic, got the setup. I really enjoyed doing this. I can get my roommates in here. We talk sports literally nonstop. So if you want some like debate, some conversation, I am here for it. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. It really does mean a lot. And I will catch you guys later. Peace.